Hello from Long Island with the University of North Dakota football team. I'm Alex Heinert alongside Tom Miller of the Grand Forks Herald, getting set for the season opener for UND as they take on the Seawolves of Stony Brook University. And Tom, it's been an eventful trip. Obviously, it's been an eventful 7 months since the last time UND stepped on a football field last November. Excitement around this program very, very high. You got to be ready for some football tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody is, the way last season ended. Kind of getting a playoff snub and leaving a bad taste in their mouth. There's a lot of anticipation for this season. I think around town, that's something you see. You hear a lot about UND football right now, and people are looking forward to 2016.
Yeah, and that season now is finally here, just hours away from the opening kickoff here at LaValle Stadium in Long Island. And we're going to preview maybe just the team as a whole a little bit right now. UND, as we talked about, coming off a 7-4 season. Defense has been the strength of this unit under Bubba Schweigert the last 2 seasons. 9 starters back. We expect this to be just as good of a unit maybe as it's been in the last couple seasons.
Yeah, I think losing Will Rattel is obviously a huge loss for that team. Made a ton of plays, maybe covered up for some mistakes from time to time. He was just one of those kind of players. So, but at the same time, you return probably your deepest defensive line group that you've had. Cole Reyes, if healthy, is one of the best players in the league. So there's still a lot to like about that defense. And I think in certain areas, they might even be deeper than they were last year.
Yeah, tops in the rush on defense in the Big Sky the last 2 seasons. They expect to be in that upper echelon again this time around. What really has people excited, though, about this team maybe this year is the fact that the offense really has a spark to it. A preseason All-America running back in John Santiago, a quarterback with a lot of experience now with Keaton Studzard. More weapons, it seems, this year than this team has had in the past.
Yeah, I think the potential in the passing game is a little greater than it's been in Bubba Schweigert's tenure here at UND. I think, you look at true freshmen that made the trip, Travis Toivonen, Noah Wanzik, Texas State transfer Demon Mercer. So you have a few more weapons to play with in the passing game if you can continue to run the football like they did a year ago, and you return all of those backs with John Santiago and Brady Oliveira leading the way there. So big question is the offensive line.
Yeah, that's what it seems to be. Only 1 starter back, A.J. Stockwell at tackle, 4 new faces up front, and they will be tested tonight as we look at this evening's contest against Stony Brook, a team that, just like UND, prides itself on defense. One of the best in the nation last year, 6th in the country in points per game, keeping opponents to 15 points a contest. They're tough up front. They've got some really big dudes. That offensive line is going to get tested starting at 7 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys we haven't seen a lot from. There's Michael Coe at center, who transferred in from a Division II school. You have guys like Dan Bell and Damon Taylor, who maybe just haven't gotten their opportunities yet. Matt Cox is in the same boat. So a lot of eyes on those guys because everybody else around them is kind of a proven commodity. So a lot of pressure there on that offensive line group.
Yeah, Aaron Thompson, the D-end from Stony Brook, was an all-conference pick last season. There's a couple of guys there in that front four that UND is going to have to deal with, and they're going to have to give Keaton Studzard time to throw, and they're going to have to open up holes for Santiago. That feels to me like one of the big battles to watch for in the trenches on both sides of the football tonight.
Yeah, both of these teams are going to want to do the same thing. They're going to want to kind of control the clock, be a run-first program. So, like we were talking with some folks earlier from Stony Brook, something's got to give kind of thing. So, I guess we'll see here in not too long.
Yeah, in your opinion, do you think it gives on UND's side tonight? Do you think they come off the season and get a victory to get things going against this team from the Colonial Athletic Association?
Yeah, I picked UND to win by maybe 10 to 14 points, and my thought process was North Dakota has beat Stony Brook a couple times here in the last 5 or 6 years, and I feel like this roster is a lot more talented than those past rosters. So it's kind of what I'm basing that on.
Yeah, I think that's probably what a lot of people in the program think. Optimism is pretty high. And again, this is a Stony Brook team that was 5-5 a year ago. They've been a 5-win team each of the last 3 seasons. Very good defensively. Some really good skill position players on offense, especially at the receiver and running back positions. A little bit of an experience at quarterback. Joe Carbone, a sophomore kid that played in 9 games last season, made 2 starts, but only 2 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. Mobile could pose UND some problems in that regard, but I think they like with the way they match up against an inexperienced front 5 on Stony Brook's offensive front and against a quarterback that just hasn't had a ton of reps.
Yeah, I think they'd love to put the quarterback in some uncomfortable positions, being that, like you said, 2 touchdowns to 8 interception stats coming off of last year, coming into this season, and everybody kind of expects Stony Brook running back Stacy Bedell to be, somebody to be concerned with the way he started last year before he got injured. So, I think a lot of pressure is going to be on Joe Carbone on the other side of the field.
Yeah, Yeah. This entire weekend, again, the team flew out yesterday to New York and has now been kind of on Long Island here just to the east of New York City for the last 24 hours or so. Just your impressions right now of what the mood is around the team, what the mood is entering this contest.
I think there's a lot of excitement. I think there's some obviously some nerves that play into it. I think there's some unknowns when you travel this far away and you play somebody that maybe you're not as familiar with. I know they played a couple years ago, but just like UND has transformed so much, you almost expect another university could make those same kind of changes. So there's kind of nervous optimism, I guess you would probably say.
We're excited. I know you guys are too. We'll be back certainly later on this week on Tuesday night on UND Sports Extra to break it all down. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the game.